You are now watching Crumb TV.
You're watching Crumb TV.
This is Prema Osset in Los Angeles, Leimert Park, and you are now watching Crumb TV.
You are watching Crumb TV.
And we're watching Crumb TV.
You are now watching Crumb TV. So subscribe.
I am the Grand Sheikess, Unity Temple number 80, More Science Temple of America, and you are watching Crumb TV.
Yo, this is that kid 179. You're now watching Crumb TV.
Crumb TV.
Peace, 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 peace to the divine family. It is your humble guest and current resident, none other than, you already know, and if you don't know, now you know, King El Allah, or better known as Crip Jesus, the Blue God. And before we even get started, I got some good news and some bad news. The good news is that this Juneteenth retreat is going to be off the chain. It's already sold out for the physical in-person tickets. It's going to be MOI bringing the heat. And you're going to be in Orlando, Florida with a whole lot of heat. Yeah, and besides that, let me take this down though. Let me see that y'all know. You can go to crumbtv.info/events, or for vendor and sponsor information, contact crumbtv@gmail.com, and you can get your virtual tickets. There's no limit on that. Anybody can watch. We can watch this all around the world for Juneteenth. Let MOI let y'all learn the truth. So let's go and get them virtual tickets, y'all. Let me put that back up there for you. Okay, so it's the Juneteenth retreat from June 16th to June 18th. MOI is bringing that heat in Orlando, Florida, and you still can get your virtual tickets, all right? Now, you can contact me. Let me put my banners up. Let me give my little, my rep on. Now, oh, okay, there we go. So for me, you can reach me at cripjesus.com. If you go to cripjesus.com, there's a section there that says contact. There you can contact me and leave a message for whatever it is that you're trying to get. We got the I didn't tell y'all about that, but y'all got this new thing, we're coming with diets in different ways, real information that you can use for your day-to-day life. So first thing I'm offering to y'all is tap in with me if you need a copy of the God Body Smoothies. Let me get am I too close to the camera or something? Yeah, by the God Allah regime. You know what I'm saying? Tap in with me. You feel what I'm saying? You might get a special price. They go for $45 usually, but tap in with me. You get the recipes of the gods. You, your children, your whole family can live, eat, smell, and feel like gods. You feel what I'm saying? So tap in for the God Body Smoothies. You feel what I'm saying? Just go to cripjesus.com and hit the contact. You can get at me about whatever. I got books available, special one-on-one classes. I can get you clothing, whatever you're trying to get, man. Just holler at me and I'll get it for you for the low. If you don't understand, let me let you know again. The website, cripjesus.com. Hit my Instagram at Holy Crip Jesus. Twitter, Crip Jesus Blue God. And you know that Blue Bible, the book, coming soon. That part. And right now what we're doing is a continuation, a furtherance, a non-refusal to stand down. And we're pushing and we're claiming, we're not asking permission to celebrate Malcolm X Day. That's right. When you're on your social media platforms, hit that hashtag CMXD. It means claim Malcolm X Day, as the brother Palmetto Star likes to say. You know what I mean? He's saying we don't need permission to celebrate Malcolm X Day. I like to say celebrate Malcolm X Day. That's what this CMXD is for me. And me and him was talking for a while, and our goal, our life goal, both of us, is to get Malcolm canonized. We want a Saint Malcolm. Saint Malcolm. Let me get a 777 if y'all feel the same way. Shabazz is how you say 7 in Arabic. That's the breakdown. That's the root of the Shabazz. So we the 7 people, the 7 tribes, guys from the Pleiades star system, right? Let me know if we need this beautiful star right here to be canonized. We want him to be Saint Malcolm. How they got Saint Peter and Saint this, and we need a Saint Malcolm. Don't y'all agree? Because for sure, he's the face, the head, the mind, and the rock on which the Black Illuminati
make something out of nothing, baby. You gotta wiggle, you gotta move, you gotta finesse, you gotta tap in. That part. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi. Tap in with the lokes. We the black Illuminati. We be posted at Lamert Park, hustling, catching bodies. A dripping OT. Thirsty peaches flew to Saudi. Money schemes, my niggas had dreams of riding Bugattis. Now it's 4-finger rings supreme with kings around me. Watch me turn the metaphysical to physical. It's not just lyrical, it's literal. These guns get rid of you, the spiritual. Spit out, let drip off a nigga lip, but get up in you and rip you up like 100 hollow tips. Bismillah, Iraq, Rahim. Prophet Noble Drew Ali, Elijah Muhammadeen. Had a dream last night on some other shit. Farrakhan and Malcolm X pulled up in the mothership. Talking about UFOs, black kings and queens that was rich as fuck, swimming in pools of gold. But niggas like you don't wanna hear that though. You were descended of one of them snitches or dudes that told the white man about all the fucking Jews and gold. And that's how everybody in the crew got sold. Fucking blabber mouth, I don't like his type. Pull that ratchet out, we tapping in. All these bitch niggas doing is tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out, tapping out. Gold chains, heads wrapped like a Saudi. Tap in with the lokes. We the black Illuminati.
So you see that one? Yeah.
Oh, we back at it.
That's that one, yeah. Back at it. In the hood entertainment. You feel me?
Night, man.
That part.
Never know what's gonna bring.
See, I ain't know if it's in the hood music, in the hood clothes. That's where they go. In the hood entertainment. It's in the hood entertainment.
It's everything.
And without further ado, we got Palmetto Star in here. I was just talking to him about the Claim Malcolm X Day, man.
Yes. We're not asking permission to claim Malcolm X Day. Peace, brother. Peace, brother Crip Jesus. What's good with you? Yeah, if you hear my voice and you're part of the revolution, my name is Palmetto Star, the Ratchet Revolutionary, but you can call me Prophet. And we're not asking permission to claim Malcolm X Day on May 19th. So since 2015, we have had a day of resistance, reverence, and reflection in the spirit of Malcolm X. So this year it's gonna be like that, but on steroids. It's gonna be Goku, you know what I'm saying, like Super Saiyan Malcolm X, the Black God. And we're gonna be talking about the future is X. So Malcolm X's impact on not just our children or their children's children, but 500 years in the future. So we are going to talk about that. We will have poets, we will have artists, we will have speakers, we will have free food brought to you by the Colored Only Cafe. So these are things that you definitely want to be a part of. The family-friendly event is at 640 Evans Street Southwest. That's right there right there across the street from the Krispy Kreme in the West End. So you definitely want to be out there. And it's going to be an amazing time. Take the day off of work, take the day off of school, and get your events tickets now via Cash App at $CMXD ATL. That's $CMXD ATL. So it's gonna be an amazing thing. Plus, by that time, I will beat the world record in push-ups. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to see what a real world champion, record-breaking champion athlete breaking the world record in push-ups per minute by May 19th. That's why I was on the line. I just got in. I actually just did it. I tied the world record for a third time. So by May 19th, I will break the world record in push-ups. So, yeah. But join us May 19th.
Yeah, you talking about language, and that's what I love. I was loading up the videos. I should have loaded this damn video. I was tripped out. But that's what I love about, the whole black God, and the God bodyism, you know what I mean, is that I still see videos of Farrakhan saying, I'm 64 and I bench press this much. You know what I mean? They always push for the physical half of, you know what I mean? See us a lot now. It's into the mental and being, figuring out a bunch of esoteric information and getting high and escaping. They didn't endorse escapism. They endorsed discipline and tackling the problem head on. And you gotta love it, But before we get too deep, this video is called Malcolm X Exposes America. Understand me? So we're gonna run through a couple of his exposures. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people talk about him, but we want to talk to him today. You feel me?
The white man pays Reverend Martin Luther King, subsidizes Reverend Martin Luther King, so that Reverend Martin Luther King can continue to teach the Negroes to be defenseless. That's what you mean by nonviolent. Be defenseless. Be defenseless in the face of one of the most cruel beasts that has ever taken the people into captivity. That's this American white man. And they have proved it throughout the country by the police dogs and the police clubs. 100 years ago, they used to put on a white sheet and use a bloodhound against Negroes. Today, they have taken off the white sheet and put on police uniforms. They've traded in the bloodhounds for police dogs, and they're still doing the same thing. And just as Uncle Tom, back during slavery, used to keep the Negroes from resisting the bloodhound or resisting the Ku Klux Klan by teaching them to love their enemy or pray for those who use them despitefully. Today, Martin Luther King is just a 20th century or modern Uncle Tom or a religious Uncle Tom who is doing the same thing today to keep Negroes defenseless in the face of attack that Uncle Tom did on the plantation to keep those Negroes defenseless in the face of the attack of the Klan in that
Well,
day.
I don't think of love as, in this context, as emotional bosh. I don't think of it as a weak force, but I think of love as something strong and that organizes itself into powerful direct action. Now, this is what I tried to teach in the struggle in the South, that we are not engaged in a struggle that means we sit down and do nothing. That there's a great deal of difference between non-resistance to evil and non-violent resistance. Non-resistance leaves you in a state of stagnant passivity and deadened complacency, wherein non-violent resistance means that you do resist in a very strong and determined manner. And I think some of the criticisms of nonviolence, or some of the critics, fail to realize that we are talking about something very strong, and they confuse non-resistance with nonviolence.
The goal of Dr. Martin Luther King is to give Negroes a chance to sit in a segregated restaurant beside the same white man who had brutalized them for 400 years. The goal of Dr. Martin Luther King is to get Negroes to forgive the people who have brutalized them for 400 years by lulling them to sleep and making them forgetting what those whites have done to them. But the masses of black people in America today don't go for what Martin Luther King is putting down. As you said in one of your articles, it's psychologically insecure, or something of that sort. I forget how you put it. But you didn't endorse what Martin Luther King was doing yourself.
I do not reject his goals of full integration and full equality rights for American citizens. Do you reject these goals?
If you don't think that he's walking on the right road, I'm quite sure you don't agree that he'll get to the right place. And if you would classify his method as psychologically unrealistic, I think that if a man's method is psychologically unrealistic, which means the road or the means or the method that he's using, I think as a psychologist, you'd be very doubtful
I don't think
that he would reach the right.
If anyone has ever lived with a nonviolent movement in the South, from Montgomery on through the Freedom Rides and through the sit-in movement and the recent Birmingham movement, and see the reactions of many of the extremists and reactionaries in the white community, he wouldn't say that this movement or this philosophy makes him comfortable. I think it arouses a sense of shame within him often, in many instances. I think it does something to touch the conscience and establish a sense of guilt. Now, so often people respond to guilt by engaging more in the guilt-evoking act in an attempt to drown the sense of guilt. But this approach certainly doesn't make the white man feel comfortable. It disturbs the other things, conscience, and it disturbs this sense of contentment.
Nothing will they ever do. They will always talk it, but they won't practice it. And with the Supreme Court, if the NAACP can tell me that they want a desegregation decision for me 10 years ago, but yet the schools haven't been desegregated, as I say, this is a victory with no victory. It's a victory that you can talk about, but it's a victory you can't show me. So if you represent the NAACP and you're telling me about this great victory you won for me, when I look at you, I have to conclude that either you have been duped yourself or else you are trying to dupe me. And in most instances where the civil rights struggle is involved, there is no civil rights leader can point to me one concrete gain practical gain that black people have made in the civil rights field in this country, not only during the past 10 years, but during the past 100 years.
I don't think there's any real organization to the riots. I think they grow out of the conditions that I've mentioned all along. And as long as these intolerable conditions are there, as long as the Negro finds himself living every day in a major depression, then every city will sit on a powder keg and can explode over the slightest incident. I feel that killing is a very tragic way to deal with any social problem. There is no violent solution to the problem that the Negro confronts in this country, and this is why I have constantly said that riots are socially destructive and self-defeating. After all, the Negro ends up on the losing end. We can't win a violent revolution. Most of the persons killed in riots are Negroes themselves. The persons who end up not being able to get milk for their children of Negroes because things where they have to live are destroyed. So there's no practical or moral answer in the realm of violence to the Negro's problem. But I do understand the sociological, the psychological, and the economic reasons.
The problem can be solved. First, the white man and the black man have to be able to sit down at the same table. The white man has to feel free to speak his mind without hurting the feelings of that Negro. And the so-called Negro has to feel free to speak his mind without hurting the feelings of the white man. Then they can bring the issues that are under the rug out on top of the table and take an intelligent approach to get the problem solved. That's the only way that they'll ever do it. We need an action program while we are Muslims, or while we are Christians, or while we are whatever we are. We still need an action program that will eliminate these evils that are in our community. And this is what we're trying to do with the Muslim Mosque Incorporated.
Do you consider yourself militant?
I consider myself Malcolm.
Well, I think we have to agree that this appears to be the result of an internal conflict within the black nationalist movement. So I think the first thing that needs to be done is for a conference of goodwill to take place between black nationalist leaders. This was why I suggested a few days ago that the followers of the late Malcolm X and the followers of Elijah Muhammad should sit down at the peace table together, so to speak, and discuss this problem and try to reach some understanding. I don't think, and I'm sure, that nothing can be accomplished by violence. It only leads to new and more complex social problems. I think it is unfortunate for the black nationalist movement. I think it is unfortunate for the health of our nation.
I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
I'm really happy for you. I'm gonna let you finish. But Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time.
Oh my God. The way it ended was so funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I had not watched that part. I had not watched the whole video. That caught me off guard. That was hilarious. But I think if people can think deep enough and peep what it really meant, like we're still complaining today. You know what I mean? We still need the Kanye voice. You know, yeah. And that's why I call it Exposes America, because Malcolm X, for all the credit he gets for his intelligence, he really spoke plainly. He spoke directly to you. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And like he said, you're endorsing us getting bit by dogs and attacked and be like, make it make sense. You know?
Right.
Make volunteering to be weak make sense too. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think he looks at it plain and simple as this. This is a short one. Let me show you how he gets it about that topic. What? You know what? You know, me and you are Malcolm X diehards. So let me set the tone for this, because I think you probably already know about this. Remember in LA? Well, not remember like we were alive, but you know, me and you are so into Malcolm. It's like, you know, that's the beauty of it. That's why he needs to be celebrated, because just
right.
The more you get into Malcolm, you become part of the you know what I mean, the Black history, the culture, the real one. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I believe it was 1962. It was in Los Angeles actually, and some man had experienced. They were beat by the police. I think they were murdered by the police. They were shot though for sure. Like it got bad. He went out there to give a speech. This was one of the best speeches he ever gave. You know, so this is after that.
In order for you and me to devise some kind of method or strategy to offset some of the events or repetition of the events that have taken place here in Los Angeles recently, we have to go to the root. We have to go to the cause. Dealing with the condition itself is not enough, and it is because of our effort toward getting straight to the root that people oftentimes think we're dealing in hate. We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such extent that you bleach to get like the white man? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other. No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you? And I, for one, as a Muslim, believe that the white man is intelligent enough. If he were made to realize how black people really feel and how fed up we are without that old compromise and sweet talk. Stop sweet talking him. Tell him how you feel. Tell him what kind of hell you've been catching, and let him know that if he's not ready to clean his house up, if he's not ready to clean his house up, he shouldn't have a house. It should catch on fire and burn down.
I think that's the one that got him in trouble. That wasn't the one that got him in trouble with Elijah. I remember what he said on that one about the after JFK. But that was the one that one right there was the speech that made. I'm gonna be real with you. I know enough history to know this. That speech did get him in trouble a little bit with the nation. I think he got suspended after that. And then the other one was like the suspension, the big one with the JFK thing. But that was the one that made the white people kind of like, because there was a lot of riots going on around that time already. So they were like, hold on, talking about burning the house down. This dude just said to burn the house,
Right. And we are in the burning house right now. We are. So those two correlations, it's not by coincidence that both Martin and Malcolm referenced the burning house. We are literally in Martin burning house, the house that he said he led black people to. He said, I fear I led black people into a burning house. We are literally in that house right now. So, and Malcolm is talking about the burning house as well. So now the house is burning. So we get out of the house. We use the extinguisher to settle the flames, but we build our own house. We don't need to be in a burning house. We don't need to be in a burnt up house, but to extinguish the flame of where we're at this present moment, we need Malcolm X's mindset and the extinguisher for these flames of called modern America.
Yeah, I agree. I think we need to let a little bit, and I know a lot of brothers, kind of see this movement as I'm real, I'm tough, I get money. We're over here with the devil. You're on that shit. They've done a good job of trying to separate it from the culture. But the beauty of him being, why we endorse him as the black God, is he seems to not be trapped in that box. He seems to overstep those boundaries. He seems to speak to all the people, and I think that's because of his perspective. You understand me? And I wanted to play this right here. It's real short, but I used to talk like this all the time, and I was smiling when I seen this because I did a lot of time in prison, and I don't let that define me. But what I want to tell people too is, what does that even mean to define you? Because if you think about it, I always tell dudes, I said the Bible starts with Moses catching a body. Right? There's a lot of the New Testament parts that are wrote in jail. You know what I'm saying? The oppressed people are going to be subjected to this in many different fashions. It's not just about jail neither. Like, I'm a jail nigga and we got the knowledge and we're the Muslim jail guys. I'm not rocking with that stereotype neither. I'm saying oppression comes in many forms from the bottom to the top, but it does not define you or should trap you in the box.
They put Moses in jail. They put Daniel in jail. Why, you haven't got a man of God in the Bible that wasn't put to jail when they started speaking out against exploitation and oppression. They charged Jesus with sedition. Didn't they do that? They said he was against Caesar. They said he was discriminating because he told his disciples, go not the way of the Gentiles, but rather go to the lost sheep. He discriminated. Don't go near the Gentiles, go to the lost sheep. Go to the oppressed. Go to the downtrodden. Go to the exploited. Go to the people who don't know who they are, who are lost from the knowledge of themselves, and who are strangers in a land that is not theirs. Go to those people. Go to the slaves. Go to the second-class citizens. Go to the ones who are suffering the brunt of Caesar's brutality. And if Jesus were here in America today, he wouldn't be going to the white man. The white man is the oppressor. He would be going to the oppressed. He would be going to the humble. He would be going to the lowly. He would be going to the rejected and the despised. He would be going to the so-called American Negro.
Oh, man. A lot of us don't realize that's the voice, that's the mind, and that's the man who normalized that type of talk. I think a lot of us couldn't even imagine how people used to talk before. Like, what's going on, my colored brother Negro? Or just, me and Jesus, don't bother that white man right there now. Come on now.
Right.
Over,
Yes, sir, boss.
Yeah, you feel what I'm saying? The whole different accents, all that. Like, nah, he broke us out of that. He said we're no longer, and it just goes to show his effect on the culture even still today. I wanted to play this to show his strength on the culture still today. Not only just me and you sitting here building, me going to prison and being called Malcolm X and reading autobiography and joining the nation of God's earth, but you doing the 80 million quadrillion billion push-ups and being one of the strongest niggas on earth. You know what I mean? Malcolm X power don't stop, can't stop, won't stop. You hear that plain and simple logic. You hear that sharp, razor, dangerous wisdom. If it wasn't for that, I could never sit here and say I'm Crip Jesus. That wouldn't have been accepted back in the day. Bro, check this out. It's not only Malcolm X, it's the power of what he taught and how it has evolved through throughout the years that has made it okay for me to stand in front of y'all and speak as such. Just look at the movie. Like, in this movie was probably the first time you heard something about a black guy on a motion picture from America. Hey, did you know this? Check this out. Let me bring Palmetto back up. Palmetto. Oh.
Yeah.
Did you know this? Check this out. History made again because of Malcolm X. No one's allowed in Mecca, especially near the Kaaba, except Muslims. However, because the Muslim world has such admiration and respect for Malcolm X, they allowed the film crew to come in, even those that weren't Muslim, to film the scenes for his movie.
Wow.
So that way the world can see.
Yeah.
And this is what else the world got to see through him. When we're talking about black supremacy, black gods and kings, we read about it here. It's very occultish. Sounds very, here we go with that shit. A lot of dudes who are even into Malcolm X still haven't got to that part of it. They're just into the Ballad of the Bullet type part. You know what I mean? It was a lot of people's first time hearing anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? With that movie, I know for a fact, I remember, I will never forget this. I was 15 years old, and like the typical person from my environment, I grew up with my mother, single mom, ghetto, all that, same old story. But, I had something in me, and it was dying to come out, and it wanted a man to groom it. So I ran away, I hung around different homies, different stuff. Then I eventually contacted my father. I went to go stay with him. And when I got there, I started back to my little bad ways. And once he noticed that, first thing he did was he said, "Okay, I'm gonna make you read." And he tried to get me to read Antoine Fisher's book. I read, I want to say the majority of it. I ended up reading it a few times in jail. But then he came with he was forcing me, trust me. I was not trying. I was like, man, forget all that. So then he came with the autobiography of Malcolm X. I'm like, this shit looks thick. The words are not that big. They're small. This is a lot of stuff. I am not reading this. Then all I could remember was how long the movie was. I said, fuck no. The movie's like, I was a kid. I'm like, oh, hell no. And what's crazy is I can remember vividly the times he would press like, oh, you're reading this. And I would just get in like a chapter or a few sentences and be like, all right, whatever, leave me alone. I would learn so much. Not just that, Jeopardy trivia knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Stuff about how they just broke down the dictionary and they're showing you, you're going to look this up and see this. But it's perspective. Right. Who wrote it? Even thinking like that. I remember he was the first one I hear talking about Aesop's fables and the word about being Ethiop, him being Ethiopian. This is shit talked about on collegiate level. He's the first one talking about this is all from the autobiography, Dante's Inferno, the tribe of Shabazz, the word Peter being etymologically connected to Petro, meaning rock. And St. Peter not really being like, he just got deep, bro. He would do it in like one sentence and move on. Next thing. You just kind of chew on that. It'll sit up in you for your life. Like, whoa, But hey, man, let the people know one more time because it's by this point in time, it's new people that came in.
All right.
You know what I mean? So hold on, let me set you up right. Let me do this right.
All right, this Palmetto Star, Ratchet Revolutionary, but you can call me Prophet. If you hear my voice, then you're part of the revolution. And we're not asking permission to claim Malcolm X Day on May 19th. It's our 8th year celebration of Malcolm X on his birthday. On his birthday. We're not doing it the weekend afterwards. On his birthday, May 19th, we're claiming Malcolm X Day. and we're going to be in Atlanta at the Unity Coffee, which is 640 Evans Street, right across the street from the Krispy Kreme in the West End. It's going to be a night of poetry, power, and passion in the name of Malcolm X. We're going to have great speakers, awesome artists, free food brought to you by the Color Only Cafe. Tickets are only $10 via Cash App, $CMXDATL, $CMXDATL. It's from 8 p.m. to midnight. So join us. It's going to be an amazing thing. We still have like 2 vendor spots and 2 artist spots available. So if you are an artist or you are a vendor, hit me up. You can hit me up on Instagram at Win the Revolution. That's WINTHEREVOLUTION, Win the Revolution. And join us. It's going to be an amazing thing. This is our 8th year, and you already know what the 8 represents, infinity. And we're going to be talking about the future is X. That's the theme this year. Is we're talking about Malcolm X's future impact. So not only impacting the now generation, like we just saw with the Kodak Black video inspired by Malcolm X, but our children, our children's children, their children, 500 years in the future. That's how far in the future that we're going to go with the impact of Malcolm X, 500 years. So join us May 19th. We're not asking permission to claim Malcolm X Day. Join us. It's going to be an amazing thing. People from all across the country always come out to Atlanta and join us on May 19th. So this year is going to be the biggest and best ever. The future is X.
Amen. And you know what's crazy? How you talked about the video, right? So
yeah.
If it wasn't for Malcolm X, even though he's imitating Malcolm X, if it wasn't for Malcolm X, him having on glasses and that hat and all that wouldn't necessarily represent, you wouldn't see that and think, oh, wow, positivity, intellectualism.
Yeah.
Oh, I want to be intellectual.
Yes.
Okay, like, you feel what I'm saying? He made it that. And I want to say for me too, because if it wasn't for Malcolm normalizing the concept, it's one thing to normalize it. Like my uncle went to prison and he's Muslim and all that. Okay, I got that. But that's still our backyard, our grandmother's house. It wouldn't be normal to the country in the world to see a Black American prisoner, intellectual, strong Muslim as one and the same. So there's a lot of dudes who don't understand a lot of things I talk about or what I'm wearing or what it means. They just be like, it's hard. It's like some Malcolm X type shit, right? So for his future, right? What are we, 60 years after? Check this out.
Yeah.
This is part of his energy 60 years after he's still living on like this. What y'all see on the screen there is how you can purchase your tickets. However, let's be real. There's people watching this from all over the place. Everybody's not in Atlanta. And while we do encourage you to, you know, do whatever it is you're going to do at home in your area, we also encourage everyone to go ahead, hit the Cash App, and we're going to be streaming so you can watch, your family can watch, and you can pay for other people, children, those less fortunate who may not even be able to scrape together the 10 to be able to come to the event, to be able to enjoy the event. You feel me? So we're taking all donations, not just for the sake of you getting admitted to the function, but expanding the function to, I mean, we're already spread across the country, so eventually the world, because the world is aware of Malcolm, y'all. This is a way for us to get this Black supremacy in this Black movement and what we're all striving for. If we want to unify it so bad, let's stop arguing about this prophet, this leader, and that. Let's just go with the one that we all know, the one that we all agree on.
Right. And let me just say like this. I appreciate what you're saying, brother. Hey, matter of fact, side note, bro, I need those songs, man. You got bars. Like, send me some tracks so I can play it on Tomorrow for TV. Seriously.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that being said, yes, this year is more important than ever to, if you cannot make it out, if you're somewhere in Romania, if you're somewhere, you know, watching this in the UK, shout out to all my UK listeners and everything. hitting that Cash App is so important because we're making this a community event. We wanted to have it. We wanted to be accessible to everybody, but at the same time, we want to make sure that the venue is straight because, you know, we did have to switch venues because the city shut down the venue that we were at prior. You know, when we were first promoting to claim Malcolm X Day, we had another venue, but they had to shut down. So now we're at this venue, which the community looked out because there was actually someone booked on May 19th. But when we said claim Malcolm X Day, they were like, oh, they pulled out. They were like, let your thing go ahead. Yes, we need that. You know what I'm saying? So they looked out. So helping out, and the tickets are only $10. So not only are you helping the community by making it more inclusive, you're also helping us with having the venue straight. Because when we did have to make that change, you know, we had it worked out where we were paying them one thing and now it's another thing. So, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to make sure we continue this. I love the Unity Coffee. This is like, if you're familiar with Atlanta at all, this is one of those places that's been, you know, a staple of the conscious community. You know what I'm saying? It's one of these places. The West End is just the epicenter of consciousness in Atlanta. And then the Unity Coffee has been, we used to have our meetings for the Huey P. Newton Gun Club and all of that stuff there. You know what I'm saying? So this has been a staple of Black consciousness. You know what I'm saying? So come out, join us, 640 Evans Street. Again, tickets are only $10 via Cash App, CMXD, ATL. And how we do it is you put in your Cash App, you know what I'm saying? We write down all the Cash App names. So when you come to the door, you just say your Cash App names and it will see how many tickets you got. And it's like that. So $10 via Cash, $10 CMXD, ATL via Cash App is at from 8 p.m. to midnight on May 19th. It's going to be a night of poetry, power, and passion in the name of Malcolm X. So join us there. But at that time, I will have got the world record in push-ups, so I'm going to have that story to tell as well. And it's just going to be an amazing night. It's going to be an amazing night. I really look forward to it and really look forward to everybody that's going to come from all across the country to join us for this epic affair.
I didn't know my mic was muted. So I really want people to run this back. You know what I mean? It's Sunday. We're going to air this a little early and let people run it back all day. I want them to make sure, you know, I'm going to keep sharing it. We might have to do this like that 1,000 share thing you do on this one. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think this is a good long advertisement. We're going to close it out with some wise words from none other than the Black God himself, Big X. Wait. I'm tripping. We already did that one. This one, my bad, y'all.
Outside the courtroom, I asked Malcolm X, giving his first television interview, whether the black Muslim prophet is preaching race hatred.
He's not teaching hate, he's teaching history. And since the American white man has used his control over the press and over the textbooks and over all forms of media to make it appear that he has done us a favor by bringing us here and enslaving us, then the Honorable Elijah Muhammad has to rewrite history or retell history. And since the white man can't dispute this truth, he tries to defend himself by saying that Mr. Muhammad is teaching hate. It's not hate to say that we were kidnapped and brought here, it's truth. It's not hate to say that we were Jim Crow, discriminated and segregated, it's truth. It's not hate to say that the Supreme Court, which is the highest court in this country, came up with a hypocritical desegregation decision 9 years ago, which they haven't enforced yet. That's not hate, that's truth.
You're quoted as having said when an airliner crashed with a number of white people on board that you were glad it happened.
The white race in this country collectively are guilty of these crimes that our people are suffering from collectively, and therefore they would suffer some collective disaster, collective grief. And when that plane crashed in France with 150
30 white people on it. And we learned that 120 of them were from the state of Georgia, the state that my own grandfather's was a slave in. Why, to me, it couldn't have been anything but an act of God, a blessing from God, and I frankly and sincerely pray for similar blessings from him to repeat themselves as often as he can spare them.
But I take it then you support the freedom-loving attempts of the peaceful marchers in Alabama and these places.
You don't get freedom peacefully. Freedom is never safeguarded peacefully. Anyone who is depriving you of freedom isn't deserving of a peaceful approach by the ones who are being deprived of their freedom. And when black people in this country come out from under the mental straitjacket that the Negro clergymen have placed them in, and begin to see that the only way you can get freedom is to get it the same way the white man in this country got it from England, or he says he got it from England. He was willing to pay the price for freedom. When you're willing to pay the price for freedom, then you get it. But the Negro in this country has never been willing to pay the price for his freedom. All of the price that we have been paying in the past has been freedom for the white man. We fought abroad so that the white man in America could be free today to sick police dogs on us, to beat our people in the heads with police clubs, and to turn water hose on little women and children and babies simply because they want to walk down the street like decent human beings. That's now the only way you can have peace is to eliminate those injustices, and the American white man is not going to eliminate them. He's going to talk that pretty talk, but he'll still continue to practice those inhuman deeds.
Now, if you're listening, you're not reading the screen, I'll let you know. It says hit the like and subscribe. If you're listening, or if you are reading the screen, and you're like, I already seen it said that, so what are you telling me again for? I'll tell you what I'm telling you. We need this all the way through the algorithm. We need people throughout the day see this pop up and they click it and they get a break from all that savageness that's being projected in their head anyway. Okay? This is religion for us, black people. You feel what I'm saying? Whatever you call yourself, Moor, Muslim, Aboriginal, melanated. This is God for you. This is spirituality. This is reset your battery, get you right, and bring you some truth. And if you want to holler at me,
Front Page Challenge welcomes the outspoken Negro leader, Malcolm.
Oh my God, it's so cozy.